Assalamu alaikum. My name is Maliha Saeed, and the topic for my presentation is drug abuse, and the subtopic is opioids. What are opioids? Opioids are the drugs that, when prescribed, need strict monitoring and controlled dosing pattern because these can easily cause dependency and addiction as they work at the level of the brain. So the changes at the level of the brain can cause drastic effects in the long run. Opioids includes both the substances that are given as analgesics and the substances that cannot be prescribed by a physician but still used by the person for his own satisfaction. For example, we have heroin that is not used in the clinical setting, but it is available in the market and it is being misused. While morphine, it also belongs to the class of opioids and it is used in the clinical settings as a potent analgesic for the cancer treatment. It is used as an analgesic. According to the report of the drug use in Pakistan in 2019, approximately 6% of the population is involved in misuse of the controlled substances that are prescribed drugs, and an estimated 0.8% of the population are regular heroin users, while 0.3% are opium users. The majority of the drug users fell in the category of the age group, like 25 and 39 years of age. Cannabis use was highest among 30 to 34 years old age group, and heroin was used highly among the age group of 35 to 39 years old. So men are mostly involved in drug abuse rather than women, and the majority of the opiate users reported that they want to seek help. They want to get rid of their dependence, but because their financial condition is not so strong, so they are unable to afford the treatment. Physical dependence, these are not just two words, but these are the life of an addict. Like physical dependence or addiction occurs by the repeated administration of the drug substance, not as a medicine, but they are just taking it to satisfy one own self or to get to fulfill one own desire. And the drug is not treating any disease, but instead it is causing some disease in the addict. And the physical dependence occurs because the drug is changing the normal physiology of the brain, and it is causing the changes at the level of the neurotransmitter in the brain, which in many cases is irreversible, and it can also cause death of the drug addict. Physical dependence is also associated with the psychological dependence, which is the maladaptive pattern of the substance use leading to clinically significant impairment or distress. Urine screening, it is basically a method that is used to check that whether a person is a drug addict or not, but we cannot completely or totally rely on urine screening because there are many ways to by which this urine screening results can be altered. So there are certain other tests, like we can do the hair testing, saliva testing, or sweat testing, and these are gaining more popularity as compared to the urine screening. So the results of the urine screening can be altered by taking diuretics, by drinking vinegar or cranberry juice, by taking vitamin C, by taking saunas, by buying clean urine from the market or from a drug-free individual, and adding bleach, isopropanol, or salt to the urine sample, or commercially there are products available that can be used to adulterate the urine sample. So now moving on to the main focus of our presentation, that is the case study. So the case study says that the DJ, that is our main subject, develops a big habit, that is the tolerance developed, and his daily requirement of drugs to maintain euphoria had increased, and he could not hustle obtain by any means any more cash on a daily basis. When he tried kicking abrupt cessation of the drug use, the drug cold turkey, without any therapy for withdrawal symptoms, he became dope sick. That is the typical heroin withdrawal symptom, which was extremely unpleasant. He has been chipping, using only occasionally since his withdrawal. Is DJ hooked to means that is he addicted, or DJ arrives at the detoxification clinic 10 hours after his last dose of heroin. He is sweating, shaking, and keeps yawning. And should he be treated for opioid withdrawal or not. So first of all, just looking at the meanings like tolerance developing tolerance means that first the individual took certain dose of the drug, and when the next time he took the same dose of the drug, he didn't experience the same euphoric effect. So in order to experience the same euphoric effect which he experienced when he took the drug first time, so he has to increase the dose next time to experience the same euphoric effect. So this is that he is developing tolerance against a certain amount of the drug or certain dose of the drug. And euphoria means it is the false feeling of being happy, false feeling of feeling pleasure. So, solving case study from the above provided data, it is very much clear that the person is suffering from the withdrawal symptoms, and to avoid these symptoms, the patient wants to take the drug, but he is unable because his financial condition is not supporting his desire. So after 6 to 12 hours of the last dose of the person starts feeling the withdrawal symptoms, which are the anxiety, restlessness, hyperactivity, insomnia, and lacrimation. There can be a profuse diaphoresis, anorexia, nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, diarrhea, and severe back pain. And after 48 to 72 hours, these withdrawal symptoms may intensify, and they can cause elevated heart rate and elevated BP, and the patient is unable to eat and drink because of nausea and vomiting. And the more drastic symptoms of the heroin withdrawal subside after 7 to 14 days of abstinence, even without treatment. However, turn to complete physiologic equilibrium, it may require it may require longer period of time, like some months or even longer. So these are the withdrawal symptoms like insomnia, irritability, nausea, vomiting, severe back pain, and abdominal cramps. Now, considering the other medical conditions that can occur due to that can happen with our subject, that is the overdose. That in case of the overdose of the heroin, he should be immediately rushed to the hospital, and in the hospital there should be airway management, and the cardio and respiratory support should be there, and treatment. And in case of the drug, opioid reversal with naloxone should be done, which is a full opioid competitive antagonist that reverses the respiratory depression and hypotension that is associated with the overdose. And initial IV administration of 0.2 to 0.4 mg of naloxone should be given, and repeated doses should be given with a maximum of 10 mg until and unless the patient responds to the treatment. And an IV infusion of naloxone may be appropriate if high doses are needed or if the patient has recurrent respiratory depression. Closely monitoring of the patient should be done during this entire treatment or entire therapy. And for the treatment of the dependence, we have two options, like we can go for the social model program and medical model program. For the social model programs, these are the non-medical approach to detoxify, and means it goes on with the it is very much important for the recovery of the patient. And medical model programs, these are based upon the pharmacotherapeutic treatment that is managed by the medical professionals, and additionally over recovery oriented counseling. And in the medical model programs, we have further three approaches, like currently we can go for methadone and buprenorphine detoxification, or another approach involves like we can go for the symptomatic treatment of the withdrawal symptoms, and the third approach uses rapid detoxification by an opioid antagonist. In the methadone therapy, what is methadone? Methadone is basically a synthetic, potentially addictive, orally acting opiate with a prolonged duration of action, about like 12 to 24 hours. And it was considered the drug of choice for opioid addiction, but now it is not considered because it has resulted in many deaths, and it also can cause dependency. So at a dose of 80 to 150 mg, it blocks the euphoric effect, and methadone itself is able to cause euphoria at a dose of 60 to 100 mg in the addicts. So, and if it is given in lower doses, then due to concomitant IV infusion, it can cause euphoria. Methadone detoxification involves stabilizing the patient on a daily methadone dose that is determined by the patient's response based on the objective symptoms of the withdrawal. And once the patient is stabilized, then means once the patient is stabilized and reach the dose of 40 to 60 mg per day, and it can be as high as 120 mg per day. So methadone is tapered. Now the dose should be increased by 20% in a day for the inpatients and 5% in a day for outpatients. So studies have suggested that slow tapering is associated with better outcomes, and the duration of the taper varies, but a period of 3 to 4 weeks is generally used. So the gradual taper may last as long as 6 months. Buprenorphine therapy. It is also a synthetic partial opioid agonist. It is an agonist, and it basically binds to the mu receptors of the opioid, and it is an opioid dependent. In opioid dependent patients, it prevents the withdrawal symptoms, and because of its partial effects, it produces maximal ceiling like analgesia with a sublingual dose of 24 to 32 mg. It is believed to be a safer alternative as compared to that of the methadone because less life threatening, because there are less chances of life threatening respiratory depression. And it is a schedule 3 drug, and oral sublingual tablets of 2 mg and 8 mg are also available. So buprenorphine is not associated with any significant adverse effects when used to manage the opioid withdrawal, and buprenorphine detoxification should be accompanied by psychosocial treatments and support groups. And the treatment is such that starting with the 2 to 4 mg, then slightly increasing the dose according to the patient's condition. And when the dose is and when the patient is stable and the dose has reached the stabilized dose, so now the dose will be tapered over a period of 10 to 14 days. Maintenance therapy, because it is very much important, we cannot let the patient just means like, so we it is very much important. Maintenance therapy. So methadone maintenance is the most common form of the pharmacology treatment for opioid dependence. During methadone maintenance, heroin dependent patients are stabilized on a dose of methadone that will be sufficient to suppress the withdrawal symptoms for 12 to 24 hours without producing euphoria. Means such dose should be given that to just suppress the withdrawal symptoms for 12 to 24 hours, and it doesn't causes euphoria. So mostly patients do well on a dose of 60 to 120 mg per day, and methadone has been accepted to be used in pregnancy for treating opioid addiction during pregnancy. Symptomatic treatment of the opioid withdrawal. The discovery of the ability of the alpha-2 adrenergic agonist, that is the clonidine, to decrease some of the opioid withdrawal symptom has led to its widespread use as a non-opioid alternative, and it will suppress the excessive sympathetic activity which is increased during the withdrawal symptoms. So it is contraindicated in the patients who have the diastolic pressure less than 70 mmHg, and clonidine is used conjunction is it is used in combination with the naltrexone for rapid withdrawal patient for rapid withdrawing of the rapidly helping the patient to cope up with the withdrawals to cope up with the opioid dependence. And the withdrawal precipitated by naltrexone is avoided by pre-treatment with the patient pre-treating the patient with clonidine. Again, in this whole symptomatic treatment, close monitoring of the patient is required. So thank you so much. That's all from my side.